disappearing into darkness. This book offers a new look at the time when he blazed as bright as any star in our national firmament. Americans have hated Benedict Arnold for 250 years. Perhaps the time has come for us to take another look at one of the most vital and paradoxical figures of our history. On what foundation stands the warrior's pride? Samuel Johnson, 1749. Part 1. To Arms, 1775. 1. War. The sudden arrival of a horseman on a Friday afternoon electrified New Haven. Israel Bissell leapt from his saddle and shouted for the village selectmen. His eyes bulged with news. Citizens came rushing to the green at the center of the prosperous Connecticut seaport. Bissell, his face strained with fatigue, rattled off his brief, shocking story. Fire, slaughter, war. Stupid with excitement, he had been riding from Massachusetts since Wednesday morning, 40 miles to Worcester, pushing his horse so hard that the animal dropped dead on arrival. Pounding southward on a fresh mount, he had alerted all those along the dusty roads. Into Connecticut all night along the coastal post road, throat raw from screaming his warning to every village and farm. To arms! To arms! He pulled from his shirt a statement by Joseph Palmer of the Massachusetts Committee of Safety. 2 days earlier, on April 19th, British General Thomas Gage had sent 1,000 redcoats marching westward from Boston. At Lexington, they confronted a company of our colony militia in arms, upon whom they fired without any provocation and killed 6 men and wounded 4 others. The words flashed through the crowd. Repeated in shouts and whispers, they ignited New Haven streets and taverns and markets with fear. I have spoken with several persons, Palmer wrote, who have seen the dead and wounded. Images of blood spilled into the minds of the people. Fear quickly turned to rage. Bissell had set off too early to know the outcome. The short firefight at Lexington had exploded into a blaze at Concord, a conflagration on the road back to Boston. Fire had consumed homes. Bayonets had pierced innocent flesh. A bloody butchery by the British, the first newspaper account howled. In fact, well-organized patriot militiamen had shot dead 70 of the King's soldiers and wounded many more. In a day, the world had changed. In New Haven, the news quickly arrived at a prominent mansion on Water Street, by far the grandest residence in the town of 5,000 souls. The house, with its mahogany paneling, English wallpaper, and sweeping central stairway, was not yet completed that April afternoon. The peach, plum, and cherry trees that filled 4 acres of orchards were just coming into leaf. The new stables housed some of the finest riding and carriage horses in the region. The owner, Benedict Arnold, was a 5th-generation American of Puritan stock. His great-great-grandfather, also Benedict, had been governor of Rhode Island. 1,000 mourners had attended his funeral a century earlier. His name was handed down through a line of Arnolds, but the family wealth was not. The 4th Benedict, a cooper's apprentice, had settled in Norwich on the eastern edge of Connecticut, married well, climbed the social ladder, and made himself a prosperous merchant and trader. When he succumbed to depression, bad luck, and drink, he left his son, the current Benedict, to start over from scratch. As soon as word of the violence reached him, Arnold rushed to the town green on a slick stallion. He was greeted with relief by the townspeople. Here was a man to take charge during this daunting time. His eyes, poised between anger and anticipation, swept their faces as he listened to the details. His verdict was simple. They must act. Must march to Boston and join the fight. Must leave today, tomorrow at the latest. Few in New Haven could match him in enthusiasm. Another man might have weighed the risks. At 34, Benedict Arnold had a lot to lose. A prosperous international trading business, a large retail store.